Small Garden Makeover, easy DIY ideas to create a relaxing green space. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this inspiring presentation on how to transform a small garden into a thriving green space, an outdoor haven that reflects not only style, but also the very essence of modern living. Today, we are not just talking about decoration, but about creating an architectural story, one that connects the indoors with the outdoors, the present with the future, and the natural with the man-made. In an age where urbanization is accelerating, homes are shrinking, and vertical living is on the rise, the value of a small outdoor space, be it a balcony, a pocket garden, or a modest backyard, has never been greater. Homeowners, designers, and architects alike are increasingly treating these little corners of green as an extension of the house itself, a continuation of lifestyle, and in many cases, a sanctuary for well-being. Think about it. The global design movement has shifted dramatically in the past decade. Where once gardens were considered luxury add-ons, today they are core to the architectural vision. Developers now highlight outdoor terraces and compact courtyards as selling points. Interior designers carefully coordinate indoor palettes with outdoor textures. And homeowners are reimagining gardens as multifunctional spaces, dining rooms, meditation zones, social hubs, or even small urban farms. Architecture has always been about harmony between humans and their environment. From the courtyards of traditional Mediterranean villas to the carefully framed views of Japanese tea gardens, the relationship between house and landscape has defined cultural aesthetics for centuries. What is different now in our era is scale and access. Most urban residents don't have sprawling lawns. Instead, they have small patches, sometimes just a balcony ledge or a rooftop corner. And yet, these limited spaces are being designed with as much creativity as entire estates once were. Architects now consider the garden as an extension of the living room. Glass sliding doors open onto lush vertical walls. Kitchen windows frame edible gardens. Bedrooms spill out onto miniature terraces. The line between inside and outside is blurred, not just physically, but psychologically. The effect of this integration is profound. Studies consistently show that even small amounts of greenery can reduce stress, improve focus, and enhance feelings of comfort. In other words, the garden, no matter how small, becomes an essential component of modern wellness architecture. One of the most influential trends shaping how we think about small gardens is biophilic design. This concept is rooted in the human need to connect with nature. The principle is simple. We thrive when we see, touch, and interact with natural elements. Biophilic design isn't just about adding a few potted plants. It's about weaving natural textures, organic forms, and ecological awareness into the very bones of our living environment. In practical terms, this means integrating vertical green walls on apartment balconies, using reclaimed wood for outdoor furniture, designing water features that mimic natural flows, and choosing plants that invite birds and butterflies into the space. In a small garden, biophilic design has extraordinary potential. Even a single living wall can transform a sterile concrete balcony into a micro-jungle. A miniature water fountain can create a sense of calm and continuity. And a carefully chosen palette of greenery can make a cramped space feel expansive. The design world has embraced this. Across Europe, Asia, and the Americas, we see boutique hotels, co-working spaces, and residential projects incorporating biophilic gardens, not as an afterthought, but as a signature design element. This same approach can be scaled down to every home. Why are small gardens so powerful? The answer lies not only in design theory, but in psychology. Human beings are instinctively drawn to natural environments. Our ancestors evolved in landscapes filled with trees, rivers, and open skies. When modern architecture reintroduces even fragments of this natural imagery, it resonates deeply. Research from environmental psychology shows that views of greenery reduce heart rates, accelerate recovery from illness, and improve cognitive performance. Offices with access to plants report higher productivity. Schools with garden courtyards see better student focus. Even hospitals with window views of trees record faster patient healing. For homeowners, this means that investing in a small garden is not merely about aesthetics. It is about mental health, productivity, and lifestyle enhancement. Imagine stepping out from your desk into a balcony filled with lavender, rosemary, and succulents. Imagine your morning coffee surrounded by the scent of jasmine and the sight of butterflies. These are not luxuries. These are design strategies that support a higher quality of life. Another key dimension of modern outdoor design is the social factor. Small gardens are increasingly being designed not only for individual relaxation, but also for gatherings. Families host barbecues in compact courtyards, friends gather around fire pits in rooftop gardens. Even the smallest patios are transformed into Instagram-worthy settings with string lights, cozy seating, and curated greenery. Designing for social interaction requires thoughtful planning. Furniture must be compact yet comfortable. Plants must frame the space without overwhelming it. Lighting must create atmosphere without clutter. And every corner must serve a dual purpose: visual delight and functional use. In many ways, the small garden becomes a reflection of modern urban living itself. Compact, efficient, multifunctional, yet stylish and emotionally rich. Of course, no conversation about contemporary design can ignore sustainability. Climate change, water shortages, and ecological awareness are shaping the way we approach even the smallest garden. Low maintenance and drought-resistant plants are in high demand. Vertical gardens and hydroponic systems are used to maximize greenery with minimal resources. Recycling and upcycling, using old crates as planters, repurposing stone tiles as garden paths, are celebrated not only as eco-friendly, but also as design-savvy. The small garden, therefore, becomes a laboratory for sustainable living. Homeowners experiment with rainwater harvesting, composting, and solar-powered lighting, all within a few square meters. These practices not only reduce ecological impact, they also add depth and meaning to the design. The garden becomes a story of responsibility as well as beauty. To ground this discussion, let's briefly highlight a few examples of small gardens done right. In dense Japanese cities, where every square meter is precious, balconies are transformed into layered compositions of bonsai, bamboo, and stone. These spaces combine minimalism with deep cultural tradition. In Manhattan, rooftop terraces are turned into outdoor lounges, complete with container gardens, modular furniture, and skyline views. These designs showcase how luxury and compactness can coexist. In cities like Barcelona or Paris, small courtyards serve as intimate oases, often centered around a single tree or fountain. The charm lies in the interplay of old stone walls with modern greenery. Each of these examples demonstrates the same principle: size does not limit creativity. In fact, constraints often fuel the most imaginative designs. As we move forward, the essence of why small gardens matter becomes even clearer. They are no longer decorative extras, but core elements of architectural and lifestyle design. They bridge the gap between indoors and outdoors, between technology and nature, between solitude and community. They remind us that beauty and wellness can be cultivated in even the smallest of places. Now that we have established the importance and meaning of small gardens in contemporary living, let us step into the practical dimension: how to transform an ordinary outdoor corner into a place of beauty, comfort, and identity. This is where architecture, decoration, and creativity meet functionality. The key lies not in size, but in vision. With the right strategies, even the most modest balcony or courtyard can be turned into a sophisticated living masterpiece. The first principle to embrace is simplicity. Small gardens thrive when design is focused and uncluttered. Too many elements can make a compact space feel chaotic and overwhelming. Instead, choose a few focal points and allow them to define the environment. This could be a single sculptural plant, a striking piece of outdoor furniture, or a carefully positioned water feature. By doing so, the garden becomes coherent and elegant, a place where the eye can rest rather than wander in confusion. Next comes layering. Designers often describe outdoor decoration in terms of vertical layers: the ground, the middle, and the vertical rise. On the ground level, natural textures such as gravel, stone, or wood decking provide a warm foundation. In the middle, potted plants, low shrubs, and compact seating bring life and purpose. Rising above, Trellises, vertical gardens, or climbing vines extend the garden upward, making the space feel larger than it is. This verticality is especially powerful in urban settings, where space is measured in square meters, not acres. Lighting plays a transformative role as well. By day, natural light defines the space, but at night, artificial lighting can change the entire mood. String lights add warmth and intimacy, lanterns bring cultural charm, while hidden LED strips can emphasize architectural lines or highlight plants from below. A small courtyard can become a romantic retreat with just a few well-placed lights. The secret is to balance function and atmosphere, providing enough brightness to navigate the space, but never so much that the magic of shadows and contrast is lost. Another powerful tool is color. Plants themselves provide a palette, from the deep greens of evergreens to the silvery tones of succulents or the bright blossoms of seasonal flowers. Designers often suggest limiting the plant palette to a few dominant colors with occasional accents so that the space feels intentional rather than random. Complementary to this, outdoor furniture and textiles, cushions, rugs, or even painted planters can introduce colors that harmonize with the plants. Soft pastels evoke calm, bold hues create energy, while earthy tones connect the garden with natural surroundings. The integration of materials is equally important. Natural stone, reclaimed wood, bamboo, ceramic, and metal each carry their own aesthetic weight. A garden with rough-hewn stone pathways feels rustic and grounded. A deck with smooth teak wood feels modern and sophisticated. Clay pots add Mediterranean warmth, while minimalist concrete planters convey industrial chic. The choice of material tells a story, and in small gardens, that story must be carefully curated to match the identity of the home. Water, even in the smallest form, adds an extraordinary dimension to garden design. A miniature fountain, a tabletop bowl with floating flowers, or a wall-mounted cascade brings sound, reflection, and movement into the space. Water calms the mind, masks urban noise, and creates a focal point that is ever-changing. In compact gardens where every detail must work harder, water features are powerful elements that elevate the entire composition. Furniture selection deserves particular attention. In small gardens, the furniture must be both functional and sculptural. Foldable chairs, nesting tables, and built-in benches maximize flexibility while saving space. Curved or rounded pieces soften sharp edges and make circulation easier. The furniture should never dominate. Instead, it should serve as an invitation, a gesture that welcomes people into the garden. Imagine a slim wooden bench under a climbing rose, or a pair of woven chairs around a small circular table, simple yet elegant arrangements that encourage connection. Plants, of course, are the heart of the garden, but the art lies in choosing the right ones. In compact spaces, scale is everything. Dwarf trees, compact shrubs, and vertical climbers provide greenery without overwhelming. Herbs such as basil, thyme, and mint double as fragrance and function, offering both culinary delight and sensory richness. Succulents and cacti provide sculptural beauty with little maintenance. Seasonal flowers offer bursts of color, while evergreens ensure year-round structure. Together they create rhythm and balance, the same way instruments combine in a symphony. Patterns are another subtle way to shape perception. Laying tiles diagonally, arranging pavers in herringbone, or aligning planter boxes in symmetrical rows can make a garden feel larger or more organized. Visual tricks are especially effective in small spaces. Mirrors to create depth, lattice screens to define zones, or pergolas to frame the sky. These design moves play with scale and perspective, turning limitations into opportunities. Texture brings a tactile richness that photography often fails to capture, but which the human experience thrives on. The rough bark of a tree, the smooth glaze of a ceramic pot, the soft cushion of moss underfoot. All these create contrasts that elevate the garden from mere visual space to multisensory environment. Designers deliberately juxtapose these textures to create harmony. Stone beside foliage, wood beside metal, soft leaves beside hard edges. In doing so, the garden becomes not just seen, but felt. Another practical approach is zoning. Even the smallest outdoor corner can be divided into zones. One for seating, another for plants, perhaps a nook for contemplation. Zoning creates purpose and prevents clutter. A rooftop terrace, for example, might have a shaded pergola dining zone, a green strip along the edge with planters, and a small lounge corner with cushions. Each area tells its own story, yet together they form a holistic experience. Decoration should never feel like excess. Instead, it should arise naturally from the design. Sculptures, ceramic lanterns, bird feeders, or even a single statement artwork can become powerful accents. The trick is moderation. One striking piece carries more weight than a collection of unrelated objects. A single stone Buddha among greenery evokes calm. A modern steel sculpture among grasses adds contrast. These decorations become anchors of meaning within the garden. In recent years, designers have also embraced the concept of multifunctionality. A planter might double as a bench. A storage box might serve as a side table. A railing might include built-in planters. This clever layering of function allows small gardens to offer more without appearing crowded. It reflects the ingenuity of contemporary design, compact, adaptable, and stylish. Maintenance is another crucial factor. A beautiful garden that demands constant labor can quickly become a burden. This is why many modern designs favor low-maintenance plants, self-watering systems, and automated lighting. With these, even busy urban dwellers can enjoy lush green sanctuaries without daily effort. Technology supports lifestyle, while design preserves the natural aesthetic. Ultimately, what makes a small garden successful is coherence. Every element, plants, furniture, lighting, water, color, texture, must serve the larger vision. The space should feel intentional, not accidental, soothing, not overwhelming, alive, yet balanced. When all these principles are harmonized, a small outdoor corner becomes not just decoration, but a living extension of home and soul. This is the power of thoughtful design. It is not about how much space you have, but how much imagination you bring to it. A single balcony can become a Mediterranean retreat. A small courtyard can transform into a Japanese-inspired sanctuary. A rooftop can host a modern lounge under the stars. With vision and care, the possibilities are endless. As we look ahead, the world of small garden design is entering a new chapter, one defined by innovation, sustainability, and the seamless fusion of technology with nature. What was once considered a purely aesthetic addition to a home has now become a canvas for experimentation, lifestyle expression, and future-ready living. The trends shaping the years to come will not only influence how gardens look, but also how they function and how they connect us with the broader environment. One of the strongest currents driving future design is smart technology. The rise of the smart home has naturally extended into outdoor spaces. Automated irrigation systems now ensure plants receive the precise amount of water needed, while soil sensors provide real-time feedback about nutrients and hydration. App-controlled lighting systems allow homeowners to change the atmosphere of their gardens with a single tap, shifting from bright functionality to soft evening ambience. Even climate-responsive shading solutions, which adjust automatically based on sunlight intensity, are becoming accessible to compact residential gardens. Technology does not replace nature, but it enhances it, making green spaces more resilient, adaptable, and sustainable. Sustainability continues to be at the core of modern garden design. As climate concerns intensify, every outdoor space, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to contribute to ecological balance. The use of native plants is gaining momentum as they require less water, less maintenance, and provide essential habitats for local pollinators. Rain gardens and permeable paving help manage stormwater in urban environments, reducing flood risks while nourishing soil ecosystems. Composting solutions are being downsized for balconies and patios, allowing even apartment dwellers to recycle organic waste into nourishment for plants. The small garden of the future is not just a decorative feature, but a micro-ecosystem that supports biodiversity and reduces environmental impact. Urban agriculture is another rising trend, reshaping how people view their outdoor spaces. Balconies, rooftops, and courtyards are increasingly doubling as micro-farms. Vertical hydroponic towers, hanging vegetable baskets, and modular raised beds allow homeowners to grow herbs, vegetables, and even small fruit trees in limited spaces. This movement is not only practical, helping families supplement their diet with fresh, organic produce, but also deeply cultural. It reconnects people with the process of growing food, instilling mindfulness and a sense of responsibility toward what we consume. As cities expand and food systems face new pressures, small-scale urban farming will continue to merge with garden design, transforming balconies into edible landscapes. The future also points toward more personalized and expressive garden identities. No longer limited to generic decoration, small gardens are evolving into powerful statements of individual style. Some homeowners gravitate toward minimalist, Japanese-inspired courtyards with gravel, bamboo, and water basins. Others embrace Mediterranean charm with terracotta, olive trees, and cascading bougainvillea. Younger generations experiment with eclectic combinations, industrial-style metal furniture paired with lush tropical plants, or neon lighting contrasted with rustic clay pots. The small garden becomes a mirror of personality, a stage where identity and creativity unfold in 3 dimensions. At the same time, cultural influences are blending to create hybrid styles. Global travel, digital sharing, and design cross-pollination have allowed homeowners to borrow ideas from across the world. A rooftop in London might feature Moroccan lanterns, while a New York balcony could host a Scandinavian-inspired minimalist setup. Designers increasingly talk about local gardens, spaces that reflect both local ecological needs and global aesthetic inspirations. This fluidity ensures that future small gardens will be diverse, unique, and deeply imaginative. Another key trend is wellness integration. Gardens have always been associated with relaxation, but the next era pushes this further. Outdoor spaces are being designed specifically as sanctuaries for mindfulness, yoga, and meditation. Aromatic plants like lavender, chamomile, and sage are used deliberately for their calming properties. Soft textures, flowing water features, and enclosed layouts create environments that encourage mental clarity and inner peace. The garden becomes not just a place to look at, but a therapeutic zone where body and mind are nurtured. In compact urban apartments, even a small balcony garden can serve as a private retreat from the intensity of city life. Social design will also remain central. The post-pandemic world has shifted how people view gatherings, and small gardens are now seen as vital spaces for intimate connection. Outdoor lounges with modular seating, fire bowls, and integrated sound systems are gaining popularity. Rooftop gardens are being designed as community hubs where neighbors can share meals, movies, or even gardening duties. This reflects a deeper cultural trend, gardens as connectors, bringing people together in safe, inviting, fun, and meaningful ways. Future aesthetics will increasingly embrace contrast and experimentation. Expect to see more fusion between organic softness and bold geometry. Designers are experimenting with sculptural planters, futuristic lighting, and furniture that blurs the line between art and utility. Color trends are also evolving. While earthy tones remain timeless, we are seeing a rise in bold accents: deep emerald, terracotta orange, charcoal black, and even metallic finishes. These create striking contrasts against the greenery, making small gardens visually powerful despite their size. Climate adaptation will also define future garden design. With rising temperatures and shifting weather patterns, resilience is key. Drought-resistant landscaping, also known as xeriscaping, is gaining relevance even in traditionally temperate regions. Shade structures, water-efficient planting schemes, and heat-tolerant species will dominate future choices. Gardens will not only need to look beautiful, but also survive the environmental challenges of tomorrow. This fusion of resilience and beauty is pushing designers to innovate in plant selection, irrigation methods, and architectural integration. Looking even further into the future, we see the potential for gardens to merge with digital art and immersive technology. Augmented reality may allow homeowners to visualize seasonal changes in their garden before planting. Interactive lighting could respond to music, movement, or even mood. Outdoor walls might double as projection surfaces for art or media. These integrations transform the garden into an evolving, responsive environment, part natural, part digital, entirely experiential. At the heart of all these trends lies one unchanging truth. The small garden is not defined by its size, but by its spirit. It is a place of expression, resilience, connection, and joy. Whether designed for growing food, entertaining friends, meditating in solitude, or experimenting with style, every square meter has meaning. The future of small gardens will be shaped by innovation, but it will always be rooted in the timeless human desire to live in harmony with nature. What we see emerging is not just a design movement, but a cultural shift. The small garden is no longer a marginal space. It is central to the story of modern living. It connects architecture to ecology, technology to tradition, and personal lifestyle to collective responsibility. In every corner of the world, from high-rise balconies to suburban courtyards, these green sanctuaries will continue to shape the way we live, feel, and dream.